The President-elect, of course, is beginning celebrations this weekend ahead of the inauguration on Monday, but he seems to be putting his foot down.
Here in the UK.
And it is pretty embarrassing for Britain to have the special relationship that we have, and everybody knows we have it, with the United States of America, but Donald Trump has seen fit not to invite Sir Keir Starmer, no doubt because of his views on Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, known for his bold and unfiltered remarks, just delivered a moment for the history books. In a fiery live TV exchange, he rejected Keir Starmer with a bluntness that left viewers stunned. In this video, we'll discuss what triggered Trump's reaction, break down the key moments from the confrontation, and explore the potential fallout from this jaw-dropping exchange.
He's not happy. The President-elect, of course, is beginning celebrations this weekend ahead of the inauguration on Monday, but he seems to be putting his foot down.
Here in the UK, things aren't so rosy because it's revealed a record number of millionaires have fled the nation since Mr. Starmer's entry into number 10.
Hey, quick favour before we move on. If you find this political content interesting, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Most of you watch without subscribing, and it's free, but it helps us out so much. Have you done it yet? Thanks a ton for the support. Now, let's get back to the video.
Well, I'm going to see him in about an hour, so I have to be nice, right? But I actually think he's very nice. I think he ran a great race. He did very well. It's very early, but he's popular, and I'll be seeing him, and I'll send you regards. Who are you with?
However, Trump's decision to exclude Starmer from a pivotal meeting casts doubt on this cherished bond. While Trump has often expressed admiration for Britain, his deliberate snub of Starmer underscores his aversion to what he sees as betrayal. Starmer's past criticisms of Trump, combined with Labour's open support for his political opponents, have widened a rift that now seems impossible to bridge.
This year alone, it's thought more than 10,000 millionaires left the country.
Not so good, is it? The Treasury is now facing pressure to revive the non-dom tax status amid fears that...
In Trump's world, loyalty isn't just valued, it's a non-negotiable prerequisite. Figures like Nigel Farage, who embraced Trump's vision and policies, earned his respect and favour. In stark contrast, Starmer's actions, including Labour MPs openly siding with Democrats during the US elections, were seen as clear betrayals. Trump's exclusion of Starmer from the meeting sent a powerful message. Actions on the global stage come with lasting consequences.
I will be taking a different approach to the last opposition by being a constructive opposition. And so I would like to start by congratulating President-elect Trump on his impressive victory this morning. The Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary met him in September. Did the Foreign Secretary take that opportunity to apologise for making derogatory and scatological references, including, and I quote, Trump is not only a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathising sociopath, he is also a profound threat to the international order. And if he did not apologise, will the Prime Minister do so now on his behalf?
Starmer's absence from this high-profile meeting creates a noticeable void in Britain's representation. Traditionally, the UK has been a key player in global negotiations, but this exclusion diminishes its influence on the world stage. It also raises serious concerns about Britain's ability to sustain its diplomatic clout under Starmer's leadership. The message is unmistakable. Trust and alignment are essential to preserving strong alliances with global powerhouses like the United States.
In party politics. The Foreign Secretary and I did meet President-elect Trump just a few weeks ago for dinner for about a couple of hours, and we discussed a number of issues of global significance. It was a very constructive exercise.
This incident goes beyond Starmer. It highlights the UK's precarious position in a rapidly shifting global landscape. The real question is, can Starmer rebuild the trust needed to repair ties with Trump, or will this exclusion signal the start of Britain's diminishing influence on the world stage? At home, Starmer's leadership is under mounting scrutiny. His approach to domestic and international issues has left many voters feeling disillusioned. Policies seen as favouring global matters over pressing local concerns have only deepened public scepticism. This dissatisfaction hasn't gone unnoticed abroad. Leaders like Trump, who often equate domestic success with international credibility, are paying close attention.
The Prime Minister did not distance himself from the remarks made by the Foreign Secretary, and I'm very sure that President Trump will soon be calling to thank him for sending all of those North London Labour activists to campaign for his opponent. Given that most of his cabinet signed a motion to ban President Trump from addressing Parliament, will
Trump's decision carries repercussions far beyond Starmer, shifting attention to other British figures like Nigel Farage. As a trusted ally who shares Trump's vision, Farage is emerging as a potential intermediary, a role that further marginalises Starmer. This evolving dynamic doesn't just redefine Britain's representation in the US, it delivers a clear message about the significance of ideological alignment in maintaining influence on the global stage.
the Prime Minister show that he and his government can be more than student politicians by asking the Speaker to extend? Can they show that they can be more than student politicians?
Order. Mr. Perkins, I don't need to anymore. Your voice curries, it's like mine, too loud.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will the Prime Minister show that he and his government can be more than student politicians by asking you, Mr. Speaker, to extend an invitation to President Trump to address Parliament on his next visit?
President-elect Trump on his historic election victory. As the closest of allies, the UK and US will continue to work together to protect our shared values of freedom and democracy. And having had dinner with President-elect Trump just a few weeks ago, I look forward to working with him in the years to come.
Starmer's policies have ignited heated debates across the UK, particularly on issues like immigration and economic priorities. Many critics argue that his approach has overlooked the needs of everyday citizens, fostering a growing sense of neglect. Internationally, leaders like Trump see these domestic struggles as signs of weak leadership, further undermining Starmer's credibility. This perception not only damages his standing at home, but also hampers his ability to represent Britain effectively on the global stage.
We live in probably a more volatile world than we've lived in for many decades. It is absolutely crucial that we have a strong relationship, that strong special relationship forged in difficult circumstances between the US and the UK. We will continue to work, as we have done in the 4 months in government, on issues of security, our economy and global conflict.
Britain's exclusion from key global discussions risks undermining its influence in critical areas such as trade, security and diplomacy. Trump's decision highlights his power to reshape alliances and steer global dynamics to align with his vision. For Britain, this serves as a stark wake-up call, a reminder that strong international relationships demand effective leadership and a clear alignment of values to secure their place on the world stage.
It doesn't sound like he wants to invite President-elect Trump to Parliament. He needs to look after the special relationship. The US is our single biggest trade partner. Given the risk of increased tariffs on UK exports, which threaten our manufacturing sector, will the Prime Minister commit now to continue the negotiations on our free trade agreement with the US, which the Biden administration cancelled when they came into office?
This rejection isn't merely a political snub, it marks a defining moment in Britain's history. The question now is whether the UK can reclaim its global standing, or if this signals the beginning of a more profound decline in its influence. Trump's rejection of Starmer wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision, it was a deliberate, calculated move. It underscores his preference for leaders who align with his vision and solidifies his reputation as a global power broker. This action sends a clear message to world leaders. Loyalty and reliability are non-negotiable in maintaining strong alliances with Trump's administration.
Well, we're marching because we are standing in solidarity with many Americans and communicating our huge disapproval with this president. A president who's said awful things during London's lowest moments of terrorism, who has attacked our democratically elected Mayor Sadiq Khan.
Donald Trump's decisive rejection of Keir Starmer, leader of the UK Labour Party, has sparked widespread debate over its global implications. Far from a mere snub, this calculated move sent shockwaves through international relations, exposing the fragile state of key alliances. It not only spotlighted the strained relationship between the two leaders, but also highlighted the broader challenges of sustaining stable partnerships. The historic US-UK partnership, often hailed as a special relationship, has long symbolized shared values and mutual respect. However, Trump's exclusion of Starmer from a crucial meeting has cast serious doubt on this bond. By favouring figures like Nigel Farage, whose ideals align more closely with his own, Trump reinforced the importance of loyalty and ideological alignment, leaving Starmer increasingly isolated on the global stage. This episode reflects the growing complexities of modern diplomacy and raises pressing questions about the UK's capacity to navigate these turbulent dynamics under Starmer's leadership.
Well, colleagues in government are quite critical of you.
Well, I'm going to see him in about an hour, so I have to be nice, right? But I actually think he's very nice. I think he ran a great race. He did very well. It's very early, but he's popular, and I'll be seeing him, and I'll send you regards. Who are you with? Who are you with?
GB News.
As Britain grapples with this diplomatic setback, the stakes have never been higher. Trump's exclusion not only casts doubt on the country's future alliances, but also raises concerns about its standing in global politics. For Starmer, the path forward is clear yet daunting. He must rebuild trust at home and abroad, or face the growing risk of further isolation on the world stage.
Far-right hatred of Britain first, the hatred that saw the death of Joe Cox. For all of those reasons and so much more, people are coming out in droves today to make it absolutely clear that Donald Trump is not welcome in our country.
Rebuilding the relationship with the US under Trump's leadership will demand a focused and strategic effort. Starmer must confront the issues that led to this exclusion, showing a genuine commitment to restoring trust. This involves finding common ground on key policies and tackling domestic challenges that have undermined his credibility, both at home and abroad.
I think that Theresa May has been terribly humiliated today. She has looked like an appeaser, a sycophant, as someone she should rightly condemn for his statements today in the Sun, his statements about Britain, his statements about our mayor. She should condemn it instead of holding his hands. Trump should not be meeting our great monarch. He should not be meeting the Queen. He doesn't deserve it. The offer of this trip was premature in the first place.
The path forward remains uncertain, but one thing is undeniable. This incident has redefined the narrative surrounding US-UK relations. For Starmer and Britain, the priority must now be on regaining their standing and influence on the global stage.
Of freedom in the world. And so this presidency is worse than any of us could ever have imagined. It's obviously a disaster for the United States, but it's a huge disaster for the international community as he tears up climate change, as he reintroduces tariffs.
Donald Trump's rejection of Keir Starmer goes beyond a mere diplomatic snub. It underscores the shifting tides of global politics and the far-reaching consequences of political choices. As Britain navigates the aftermath, the world is watching closely. Will Starmer rise to the occasion and mend these fractures? Or does this moment signal the dawn of a new chapter in US-UK relations? Share your thoughts on this developing story in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Watch more videos here for the latest insights.